There's a part of your brain that is always fixated on business. You need to have the mental preparedness and understanding that businesses don't always succeed. You've just got to work hard. You've got to understand that plans are not in concrete. You have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to change directions. You have to be able to say, I got it wrong. Before you commit it to the business, the first thing I would ask you is,
Jonathan, thanks a lot for being here today. We'll start with probably the most basic question. Tell me about who you are, what do you do, and what's happening.
well, okay. That's not a short answer, Tetiana.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, by the way. So we're here at Cafe Alfons. This is one of our two venues that we have, myself and my wife. We've been here for nearly 15 years. Probably best to start with Anya's background.
Okay.
Anya's from Germany originally.
All right.
And her family started bakeries and cafes in the late 1800s.
Right.
So,
Okay. So
about
it's almost 100.
125 years
Wow.
on, yeah, and change. She's the fifth generation of her family to be in this business.
Okay.
And so it's a big thing. Her parents are over here retired now.
Right,
and
okay.
the name Alfons is her family name. That's her father's name and her grandfather's name.
So good.
So we wanted to carry on her family legacy and do something that was a little bit us
Yes.
and a little bit of the family. So
Yeah.
obviously their focus was more on baking. Her father is a master baker and master patisserie chef.
All right.
So he's had his career. We obviously wanted to put the Australian spin on it. We
Yes.
do breakfast, we do lunch.
Yeah.
However, Anya obviously does all of our cake slices.
So she still does herself?
Absolutely, yeah. She does fresh
Okay.
muffins and scones every
All right.
day.
So if you want to try the actual German pastries, you should come on the Gold Coast to the Cafe Alfons.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And her father, Alfons.
Okay, no.
He's still baking cakes for us.
Oh,
So yeah,
that's
he
good.
supplies us with some cakes and slices every week still.
Yeah.
Which just adds to Anya's experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's kind of a unique blend of experiences coming directly from Germany.
Absolutely.
That you will probably never
Yeah.
see on the Gold Coast.
It's very authentic. Very
That's-
authentic.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So you obviously both are together involved into the business. How do you separate relationship, business, family, and all this stuff?
The short answer is we don't. But when you're in business, there isn't a line between work and play.
Yes.
You know, we go out for breakfast at least once a week.
Yeah.
We eat out at restaurants. This is a part of our life. There's a part of your brain that is always fixated on business.
Yeah.
And that doesn't switch off. And in our relationship, look, most people, they'll come home from their respective jobs and their respective days
Yeah.
and come together and go, how was your day? Good. How was your
Yeah.
day? For us, it's kind of that first hour or so of us getting together after our day finishes is more of a debrief of the day. We are...
You're like balancing each other.
yeah,
And
a
basically.
very effective team.
Yeah.
And Anya is incredibly inspirational
Mhm.
in how she goes about her day.
Yeah.
She makes every day count.
No.
So it's not hard to be around that.
Yeah. When Anya was in Germany, was she involved into the bakery business as well? Was
She did. Look, she literally grew up in
Yeah.
a bakery.
Okay.
Their main bakery operation, their house is built above it. We have a son. He's 11 now.
Okay.
And we often say that Cafe Alfons is our second child because the business feels like that.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of your time. It needs constant attention.
Yeah.
It needs growth.
Yeah.
It needs nurturing, as its people do as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it is very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To open the business in hospitality, you need to put money up front.
Yep.
From the very beginning, probably huge amounts because it's kitchen, it's all the fridges, all the location.
Yeah.
How was it for you?
When we took over this place, we did a significant renovation. You need to have the mental preparedness and understanding that businesses don't always succeed. You just got to work hard. And before you go in, you have to see your success.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand your path to success. You can't sort of do it, get into the fight, and then try and find your victory. You need to know where your path lies. And when you understand those things, when you go into business, most people, the question that we get asked, were you scared going in? Were you apprehensive? When you know where you want to go and you have faith in what you're doing and you have an understanding of the marketplace and your environment, your physical environment, your location and all of those things, that you need to go in with that confidence that you are doing the right thing.
Yeah. So it feels like from the very beginning, you had a system, especially across finances, how you're going to develop this business. Is it correct?
Yes. Look, simple rules. You say you need enough money to get through your first year running at a loss. That would be a basic rule of thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And when things are going good, you can get there a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
And when people like what you're doing and everything's working, that happens faster. But generally, your first 1 to 2 years are are business building, and
Yeah.
you've got to be prepared for that mentally.
Yeah.
And when you are, and a lot of people aren't, and the massive percentage of businesses that fail in their first couple of years, you can look back and go, I can see why you're unfinanced, or there's things that you weren't simply prepared for. So when you've got your plan going in, I think that eliminates a lot of the apprehension, a lot of the fear that you just shouldn't. And when you go in, you have to be, you have to have the attitude. And I said it to Anya when we did this. I said, sweetheart, because Anya hasn't got a business background.
Yeah.
And I said, the worst thing that can happen is we lose all of our money. Okay. So when you're prepared for that, okay, that's the worst that can happen.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
We've still got ourselves. We'll still have a roof over our head. We're employable. We can work. We can start again. We can rebuild. We can do something else.
Yeah.
The worst that can happen is we lose everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So prepare yourself for that as the worst thing that can happen, because it happens. It happens every day.
You hit obviously multiple crises on the way.
Absolutely.
Were you prepared for it, or how did it hit for
as
you?
prepared as you can be.
Yeah.
So throughout these 15 years, we've had good times and we've had bad times. COVID wasn't the first bad time we hit. We had a time about sort of 10 to 12 years ago, where on the Gold Coast especially, our cafe market was just starting to mature, but it wasn't quite there. And this is when people still said, oh, Sydney's got the best coffee, Melbourne's got the best coffee.
Yes.
The Gold Coast doesn't know what it's doing. It was still, we hadn't quite hit our strides, maturity in hospitality.
Yeah.
And everyone was opening cafes. Everyone was buying themselves a job.
Okay.
And just in our market where we are, we went from sort of 3 cafes or coffee shops in our area to about 8.
Okay.
And all that did was just hurt everybody.
Yeah.
No one was doing anything different. It was a real that was a really tough time, and that was about a year and a half. And I can say in our market, we were the only cafe, and still are the only cafe in our area that hasn't gone broke at least once. Again, your default position is just work hard. Okay, be excellent at what you do, and just push through. And then, of course, when COVID happened, we just did exactly the same. We sat down and we got smart, and we watched the news, we watched what was happening in the world, and we got up and we came in every day, and we focused on our people, focused on our customers.
So major 2 lessons for the next crisis, how you're getting ready and how other businesses would get ready for it.
Look, it's always smart to have a bit of a war chest. In good times, don't always act like they're the best of times. And you always have to understand that there will be rainy days. Okay? And rainy days, if you're checking your business weather, okay, are usually preceded by cloudy days. And it's important to keep looking at the sky and recognizing what a cloudy day looks like, and understanding what rain clouds look like. And you just have to be prepared.
Yeah.
It really is. There will be bad times.
Yeah.
When you go through life long enough, and they always say in a booming economy, everyone acts like there's no such thing as a bust. Whether it's property, shares, or business, when times are good, people act like they're never going to win.
Yeah.
And every good time ends.
Yes. So tell me a little bit more now about your second business. How did you come to the point where we're ready actually to open the next one?
Okay. So we're going through right now exactly what I talked about. We're in our first couple of years. We've just had our first birthday there. And we had the same conversation. Sweetheart, the worst that can happen is we're going to lose everything.
Yeah.
Okay. We've protected this place, of course. When were we ready for another place? We were probably ready 10 years ago.
Okay.
But we've been very cautious about not taking our focus off here.
Yes.
Because growth never stops. And it was just finding the right place and the right opportunity at the right time, having the financial resources to do it, making sure that this place was under control, that we've got the right people here, that we've got the right people that we can put in place in a new venture.
Yeah.
And you sort of build that up with your human resources over time, that you've got people that you go, hey, I'd really love to work with that person. And building up enough credibility that people want to work with you as well.
Absolutely.
So when this one came online, it fit our criteria. And we just said, let's do this. And we really just jumped in, understanding the next 2 years are going to be difficult.
Yes.
And they are. Building a business, even though it was an existing business, we rebranded it and we made it our own thing.
Yes. Because I remember how it was before. It wasn't quite hitting the point.
Yes.
And probably once you entered the building, it just changed completely. Different vibe. As you mentioned, you probably put so much intention into the people who you hire because it feels so welcome, and you're always greeted and you're always taken care of.
Yeah. So that's the foundation of of our philosophy and how we go about business. We just want to identify what we do, and we want to be excellent at it. You need that top level of philosophy, or that statement that you make in your business, to say this is where it all starts, and then everything else can waterfall from that.
Yes.
And ours is, we make coffee and we make food, okay, and we do service. Okay, now that's Anya's background.
Okay.
They didn't grow up in bakeries. They grew up in community service.
Yeah.
If you think of your daily bread, what they did throughout that 125 years of wars, recession.
Yes.
They've been through 3 different currencies. There's a lot of stuff happened in that 120 years. It was tumultuous. For them to have kept going, they understood what they were there for, and that was the basic need of people to have that everyday part of their diet, which is bread. It's subsistence. It's just that staple. And that's what they did for 125 years. It wasn't so much a bakery as it was community service, serving their community. Anya just has that ingrained in her.
Yeah.
And so it comes from a genuine passion to be here and serve people. So our 3 pillars are exactly that. It is food, it is coffee, and it is service. Our service we rate as important as everything else we do in the business. Okay.
Yeah.
You can't have a great coffee without great service. This is where we come from. And we try and ingrain that in all of our staff. And that's where we start.
Yeah. And you bring this across all of your businesses,
Yes.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. If, let's say, tomorrow I would like to open a cafe somewhere in Byron Bay, what would be the one thing you would tell me to do tomorrow before I'm opening my business?
Okay. Before you committed to the business, the first thing I would ask you is, tell me all of the reasons why it's a bad idea and why it won't work.
Okay. All right.
All right.
So it's about a good question or a better question.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I firmly believe that you'll save yourself a lot of time by getting all of what is simply just called get your nose out of the way. Okay. Yeah. Find anything that would stop you from doing it, or that will stop you from saying yes. All right. And then you take those no's, and some people can see this as a negative thing. But you have to be your own critic. If you don't have a critic in your life, in a big organization, there'll be someone in there that will say, I don't like it. Or there'll be someone higher up than you that will go, nah, that's a bad idea because of this. All right. Yes. They might be from a different department. They might have a different outlook, a different opinion. They might not like you. There's a whole different set of reasons. But the big point is, someone has to be a critic in your business world. And it's better that you are the critic. That you do it, yep. So you have to take your idea, whatever it is, or your business plan or your business model, and go through and go, where's the no? How is this going to fail? How is this not going to work? Yeah. And you take all of that information, and then you analyze it and go, how can I turn those no's into yeses? All right? Yeah. And then very quickly you'll reach a point where you will go, this isn't a good idea. What's next? Yeah. Okay. And then you've got to be prepared to put your feelings, because most people going into small business are doing it because they've got a passion for something. Yeah. They love baking. They love coffee. Yes. They love, community service. Yeah. Okay. You got to put that passion aside and go, what's the reality here? What is the stark reality? Are people going to walk in my door? Are they, are we in the right spot? Yeah. And so you have to find your no's. Okay. And then work through them. And you're going to have no's that you can't solve. Yeah. All right. But you got to look for the critical no's that will make you go, this isn't happening. Right. Okay. And then you got to put your passion aside. Yeah. And face the reality that it's not going to happen that way. Yeah. Okay. And then you take all the other no's that you go, this can still work despite that. Well, then those no's can just go in the bin and get out of my way, and I'm just going to walk over the top of them and keep going. All right. Yeah. Okay? Yeah, it does make sense. Absolutely. Yeah. So you've obviously held 2 businesses, and you dealing with so many people, and especially getting these objections that you have internally or from other people. Yep. You have to deal with it. Yep. What was probably the worst advice that you ever get from someone that you're like, oh my God, it's... Okay, look, I think it's important in business to understand, that you're the one that makes the decisions. Okay. I would say some of the worst advice is exactly the same as the best advice, which is listen to other people. Okay. Don't listen to other people. Okay. All right. It is the best and the worst advice you can get. All right. You've got to listen to everybody, but you've got to make the decision as to whose advice you take. Yes. And I'm talking about finances, investments, shop fitting. When we started this place, everything was red and white, and it was stark. And I had my parents, the shop fitter, the tiler. We picked this stark red tile with white grout. And everybody said, Jonathan, don't do it. It's going to look awful. And I said, no, it's happening. I see it.
Yeah.
And we did it. And I invited everyone on the Mac. Obviously, the tiler was there. The shop fitter saw it. My parents, everyone who said it was a stupid idea. It's going to look terrible. I stood in front of the shop and I said, take a look at it and tell me what you think. And they went, wow, that looks incredible. Okay. You've got to know what sort of advice to take. Yeah. So, the best advice I've had is listen to what other people are telling you.
Okay.
The worst advice I've had is listen to what other people are telling you.
All right. I love this. I love this controversial advice. So we've got a few questions from the audience and the followers I've got on social media, which basically told me, okay, if you're going to talk to this guy, I want to ask them these questions.
Great.
So first one from Sarah. She's 23 and she said, I have 50K saved. Is it enough to start any kind of food business or should I wait?
I think the direct answer to that is 50K, any type of food business. I would say a food van, a coffee van. You could probably do that. For this reason is once you get the van fitted out, which maybe a little bit more, could do it a little bit less if you're a bit handy. At 50 grand to fit out a coffee van, you won't lose because you'll have something to sell at the end of it and you're not paying rent.
Okay.
You're not locked into a lease. So you can get into a market and you'll pay your rent weekly at a market, a farmer's market or whatever. But you're not locked into a shop lease where you have to come up with bond money, fit out money, and then you're kind of stuck with a whole lot of fixed overheads that just need to be paid every week.
Right.
If you park your coffee van in the shed, it's costing your registration and insurance. So for 50K, I would say look at a hobby business like that, something you can do on the weekends, and then you grow. And there's countless stories out there of people that have taken 50 grand and gone to the markets and started a little shop and ended up incredibly successful. Culture Kings is probably one of those. He started at Carrara Markets and that's a $600 or $700 million business now. And that guy's an incredible business mentor to a lot of people and does a lot of good things. And he is incredibly successful. He started at Carrara Markets.
So there is a huge potential to grow, even though if you're starting now with a van.
So my advice is if 50K can get you into something and you're really passionate about it, then get into doing something.
Amazing. So next question we have from David. He's 26 and says, everyone says follow your passion, but is it actually true or do you get good at something and learn how to love it?
Wow. It depends on whether you want to be in business for the sake of being in business, whether you want to buy yourself a job or you've started with a passion. If you've got the passion for something, I would always say chase your passions in life. We only get one round. And I say, make it count and do something that you want to do. You have to back that up with a bit of pragmatism. What's the reality of what your passion is? Can you make a living out of it? Are you happy? I would ask this question. If you're happy about your passion, that you would do it for free.
Okay.
Because the reality of small business is you work a lot for free. When times aren't great, there are times where you're going to work and working harder than most people work. 6-7 days a week. Okay. And quite often doing that for no return. So if you're prepared to do something for free
and invest in future,
there you go. Then you need to balance what the importance of money is in your life versus what you can make out of your passion.
Perfect. All right. We've got next one from Maria. She's an immigrant from Brazil and she says, my family thinks I'm crazy for starting a business instead of getting a stable job. How do you handle that pressure at the very beginning?
I think family will come around when they understand that you're doing something that you really love. Family will always come around. And I think you need to listen to what people close to you are telling you. And I think you'll be able to determine whether what they're telling you is valid.
And it probably comes to your advice, listen to other people and not
don't listen to other people. And I have found that a lot of the time when a person defies what a lot of people are telling them, it strengthens their resolve. And you can see that in them. You can see someone who just has that resolve to go, I am going to be successful at this, despite other people.
All right. And the last one, honest question, is owning a business actually worth it? Or would you have been happier working for someone else? It's from Chris.
I would say this, and with your other question before about if I was going to start a business tomorrow, what would you tell me? The other thing that I would say is business ownership isn't for everyone. In fact, it's not for most people.
Yeah.
I know most people will get a lot of joy out of working for someone else, and they'll get a lot of stability out of working for an employer. So there's that to consider. I think it comes down to the person, but it takes a lot of grit sometimes, and there is a cost that's beyond financial.
Yeah.
It takes commitment, but you do find out who you are
Yeah.
and what you have in your tank, and when you do make it, you can prove to yourself that a lot of people are virtually limitless when it comes to how they can keep going, how they can continue to achieve, how you can keep getting up in the morning despite whatever circumstance you're going through. You find a lot out about yourself when you get into business and you're challenged.
Yeah, and you probably need to deal with all of this, your background stuff first.
Absolutely.
And proceed
Yep.
based on this one.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jonathan, for being with us today and sharing your journey and your partner Sanya journey. There are so many people that are in a similar situation,
Yep.
and they want to just like try it. If they don't try it, it's fine. At least they've tried this.
Yeah.
Like you can fail, you can win.
Absolutely.
The result is
Yep.
probably secondary part, but the primary one is you tried.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes the outcome can't be a measure of the experience. It's what you go through. We could go broke tomorrow, but no one can take away the last 15 years of what we've experienced here with the people that we've experienced with.
Yeah.
You can't replace that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that again. The outcome isn't always a measure of the experience. You've got to understand that plans are not in concrete. You have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to change directions. You have to be able to say, I got it wrong. And to change things and do things differently.
Mm-hmm.
And what was wrong yesterday might not be wrong today. And what was right yesterday might not be right today.
Yeah.